Good evening, Mama Bella here from Healing Throughout, and today we're going to learn how to make kale chips, raw kale chips that you put in your dehydrator. So what I have here is I have organic kale that I've washed and that I've devined, they call it, okay, just kind of piecey kale, large pieces, small pieces, it really doesn't matter the size, okay. And then over here I have an assortment of different kinds of spices and oils. So we'll just start from the top here. I've got organic apple cider vinegar, some sea salt, I got some chili lime spice, a little bit on the hot side, nutritional yeast, freshly chopped garlic, olive oil, lemon juice, and onions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bowl here, all right, and I'm going to go ahead and add my nutritional yeast. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. So I don't measure. I just kind of like eyeball stuff. So I would say that's about maybe 4 cloves of garlic, maybe about 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. I'm going to skip the olive oil here for a second. About a tablespoon or so of lemon juice, a few tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with the mother in it. This is Bragg's apple cider vinegar. We've got about 1 tablespoon of sea salt. Okay. I've got a lot of this chili lime spice. It probably has cayenne and some of the really fun spicy herbs. I'm going to drizzle that on top like this. I'm going to go ahead and add all my diced and chopped up onions. Okay, you can make them small or bigger. It really is up to you. One piece right there. And I'm going to go ahead and add maybe about 1/4 of a cup of olive oil. Now you can gauge this and add or take away as needed. All right. So what I've done, hands being clean, I've taken it and I've just massaged it right into that kale. All right. Makes it so every single piece of that kale gets saturated with these wonderful herbs and spices. All the olive oil is in there. I want to make sure it's divided out evenly. Okay. Now you got a couple options here. You can either immediately put this in your dehydrator at 108 or less, which considers it still being raw, or you can actually let this thing marinate for a few hours in a plastic Ziploc baggie, which is probably what I'm going to do here shortly. Okay, so you're going to let this sit there for a while, let it marinate, and you'll feel all the leaves. Make sure that every crevice of those leaves get completely saturated with all these spices, because when you dehydrate these, they're going to shrink. So this leaf right here is not going to be as big as it is in the dehydrator. All right. Now I've got a second bowl here of kale also. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit more in here, because I have a lot of that juice that needs to go into some more kale. This will be my second batch here later on this evening. But I wanted to show you how simple this really is. Okay. Massage it well. Okay, and then when you're done with that, now see, I still have a lot of oil in here, so I'm just going to continue adding a little bit more kale. And you can determine how much kale you want to put in with your mixture here. But like I said, you want to make sure that all the leaves are completely saturated. And then there's no specialty to this, really. It's pretty much how you choose to uncook your kale chips. I know there's a lot of recipes online, but this is how my family does it, and it works for us. All right, I'm going to leave that there like that for just a quick second. Now we're going to jump over here, and I have my dehydrator here. Okay, it's an Excalibur, and I'm going to go ahead and take one of these sheets out of the dehydrator. All right, let's get that out of the way. This is family homesteading, uncooking here. We do eat a 85 to 95% raw diet. I do specifically, closer to 95. My children eat clean meat, and we do a little bit of gluten-free here at the house also. But these are really our specialty. So what you do now is you take your kale and you evenly distribute that on top of the dehydrator sheets. Now, as you notice, the onions are going to be kind of like scattered, but that's all right. You can use onion powder if you choose to. You don't have to use regular onion, but I'm just going to be a little bit different this time and try something new. So the onions are actually not going to be able to stay on the kale chips, but they'll give it the flavor. Okay, now I'm going to take this over to my dehydrator here. Let's get that top sheet off because you're going to need a little bit more room. Okay, slide it in there. Now you're going to get another sheet and do the same. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to leave some of that kale on that bowl right there so I can add this remaining kale into it and still incorporate that juice in there. All right. These are going to be really good. They smell really good. Okay. Alrighty. So that is raw organic kale chips done here. Mama Bell at Healing Throughout. You can visit us on HealingThroughout.com for more information about what we're doing here as a family. Thank you very much. Have an amazing day. Shalom.